Let's bring in Chief John Fitzgerald right now on the Oakland County Megacast. He is the Chief of Police in our fine city of Keego Harbor. Thank you for being with us, Chief. It's great to have you on this Veterans Day.
Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Tyler.
And Chief, I know Keego has a small police department. Do you have any vets serving on your department?
We do. Officer James Cote was a member of the United States Air Force, and we're proud that he did do his service for us.
Well, please extend my gratitude to Cote as well for his service, and he is such a huge attribution here to the city of Keego Harbor. Everyone knows who Cote is. If you don't know him, if you have a boat, you know him from the water. If you don't have a boat, you know him if you're out on the streets, because he's the one giving cookies out to all the dogs. And I have to tell you, it was so cute the other morning. I was coming into the studio past him, and he was talking to the owner. The dog, I don't know, it looked like a small pony. I don't think it was a dog, it was a pony. And it was like a St. Bernard or something, well over 100 pounds. And he's giving the dog cookies. I'm like, no, I think Cote, you need like a box for that dog.
Yeah, he's well known for that, for treating the dogs right and for being out on the lake and taking care of the boaters. And he's just been a face around Keego for quite a while now, I think since around 2000.
And Chief, knowing that, how important is it as the chief of a small police department to have that community interaction?
I think that's what it's all about. A city like this, and actually it's almost any city, because you even see it with Chief Craig in Detroit being out and interacting with the community, but especially a place like this, I want to know the people. I want them to know me, all in a good way, we hope. And our officers, their main job is to be out in the neighborhoods, be seen, let the people know that they're looking out over their things, they're looking out over them, they're meeting them. That's what I think small town police work is about, that we're there, they know who's there to protect and serve them.
Chief John Fitzgerald with us here on the Oakland County Megacast. He is the police chief here for our fine city of Keego Harbor. Chief, you're into the job over a year now, but you're also trying to police a city in the middle of a pandemic, and now we're seeing an upswing in this crisis. What are you worried about going into the winter months?
Just worried about everybody trying to take care of themselves the best as possible. The city has just redone its COVID policy for the employees and how we're supposed to be acting and what we're supposed to be doing. We're taking as many precautions as we can around here. But I just was talking to my own doctor 2 days ago for my physical and asking him about it. And he had worked in one of the COVID units when the pandemic really broke earlier this year. And his main thing to me was your hygiene. Washing your hands and not touching your face and your eyes and your nose with your hands. Like he said, that the virus could get on a surface, but if you're doing your proper hygiene and using your hand sanitizer and things like that, you're going to protect yourself very well. I hate to speak ahead of time, it's like knock on wood type of thing. We've done a good job with our officers in Keego. We only had a couple of days lost while we waited for some tests to come back that were luckily negative. And we're going to hope it keeps going that way by, the officers cleaning their cars when they get into them, out of them every day, so the next person doesn't get anything. Wearing our masks when we're in and out of our offices and around the station, around City Hall. We're just trying to follow the protocols that are put in place by the health officials. And so far it's been working well for us. And I hope everybody else uses the same thing and it works well for them too.
Well, one of the things we are seeing is there is an increase of cases in the Sylvan Lake and Keego Harbor area. So I tracked the number on the Oakland County Health Department's page. Anyone can do this. You put in your zip code for us, 48320, includes Sylvan and Keego, and we've seen an uptick in cases here recently for our two areas. And knowing that, plus you have such a small department, it feels like if one person gets it, what does that do for your entire schedule if you have to knock out 2 or 3 employees because they've been exposed?
Well, it's happened to other departments. I think DeWitt had a problem where the whole department had to close down for it. Unfortunately, they lost a Sergeant Darnell to COVID just this week, I believe it was, or I think on the 4th of November, and our condolences go out to the DeWitt Police Department over by Lansing. So it shows it can be dangerous. But another thing to remember, and I'm not a health expert, but a lot of people panic, especially if they happen to catch it or not. Remember, it's never a death sentence. You can fight it. You know, don't just turn over and give up. One of my friends from my old days in Southfield, 70, I think he's 8 years old. He was on a ventilator for over 70 days. They did a story on him on Channel 7 recently, and it took a lot of work, but he came back to it, and he's back at home recovering. And so it's something you can survive if you get it. People should remember that.
Wow. And the good thing, too, is we do know that they know how to treat it differently than what they did in the very beginning of this crisis. So that is the good thing. And we are wishing you and your entire department to stay safe and to stay healthy. Chief, today, as we mentioned, is Veterans Day, a day that we honor all those that have served before us. Knowing that what you have Officer Cote is on your department, what do you look for when you're hiring new police officers to join the force? And can some of the experiences that they had, if they were military members, translate to a small town police department?
I think they can. Like Officer Cote, I believe, was a military police officer before, and I worked with, when I was in Southfield, numerous veterans, and many of them actually worked in the military as military police officers too. So there's some police experience right up front to begin with, which is very transferable over to our municipal police departments. I like the sense of discipline that a military member has, a sense of knowing the chain of command, a sense of the paramilitary organization, and a sense of duty. I mean, if they were willing to volunteer for their country, you know they have a sense of duty to help protect it and keep it safe. And if they step forward to continue to do that as a police officer, firefighter, paramedic, whatever, what have you, in public service like that, it's much appreciated. I think they have a lot to offer.
So, Chief, when you're hiring someone, what are the qualities that you are looking for? I know when I was with ATF, especially with the military individuals, part of the process was trying to teach them to be able to translate their experience, but put it in layman's terms, because if you're doing a one-on-one interview, you can quickly lose people with all the acronyms.
That's very true. You want to bring them back to civilian life, because the military is its own way of life. I say unfortunately, because I was never a member of the military, but I was surrounded by them in Southfield, and I was proud to serve with them on the police department. And I could watch them go back and forth with each other, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army guys, and how they went at each other in a fun way. And you just have to step back and let, you weren't part of it, so you can't say anything, but you realize there is a different sense of camaraderie and lifestyle. And you hope they can bring that to the police department with them, because a police department or a fire department has its own sense of camaraderie and lifestyle also. And, it's a job we have to live. It's a mindset also.
Chief John Fitzgerald with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast. He is the chief of the city of Keego Harbor here in the greater West Bloomfield area. Always great having you with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast, Chief. And we can just kind of touch on some of the businesses here in the city of Keego Harbor. It's extremely hard for the restaurants right now as we bend this corner trying to go into the winter months. I know that last week it was kind of an issue when the health department put down this mandate that they start collecting employee information. However, the health department has now rolled back some of those restrictions. Anything that you're seeing from the police department side regarding some of these stricter requests with the local businesses?
We haven't had anything here with the police department. Unfortunately, we have seen the results of COVID with some of the restaurants. Some of my favorite restaurants have actually closed down temporarily due to an employee coming across with COVID or some exposure to it. And I think we're going to see probably a little bit more of that, of some of our places closing down, not by order, but by the fact that, it won't be a lockdown. It's just that some of the employees contract COVID, and And like I said, we're seeing it in some of my favorite area restaurants. They're not all right here in Keego, but close by. So we all still have to be careful with our hygiene when we're going out to eat and our social distancing.
And with that, Chief, so one of the things I noticed, I was at the grocery store this week, and they're starting to put limitations again on some of these items. I mean, toilet paper and I would say paper towels getting easier to find right now. You still have trouble getting wipes and disinfectant spray, but now we're seeing those limitations come down as the second wave is upon us. Any concern from you and your department that you're having so far about trying to get supplies, or were you able to stock up, and if there is a shortage, you're going to be okay for a while?
We hope that we're going to be okay for a while. We stocked up a little bit at a time, and that's how I'd recommend it for everybody. Don't just go in and buy everything off the shelf, because that leaves nothing for somebody else, and then the panic happens, and then you get those rushes on any items. There's no need to do that. You get a little bit, then you come back later and get a little bit more. That's how we've built up a little bit of a stockpile so that the police department and City Hall can be safer. But remember, there's a lot of people out there that need things, and I see no reason to go grab as much as you can.
I know, it's crazy when you go in and you see people go nuts. I did say to some lady in Target a few weeks ago, I was like, hey, do you have to buy all of them? It was disinfectant wipes, and she just wiped them out. And I was like, come on. But yeah.
I like the list.
I always look at it. I want my neighbors to be able to disinfect whatever they need to disinfect. That's going to protect me at the end of the day too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If your neighbor gets it, or your other family member catches it because they couldn't get the supplies they needed, well, then it's going to come back around. So just remember it's kind of that be kind to other people type thing that we like to see in all aspects of life.
Chief, anything we didn't touch upon that you want to get out to the public before we let you go?
Well, I didn't mean to look so scruffy on camera today, but the Keego Harbor Police Department's participating in No Shave November for several different charities. Each officer that wanted to participate, and some don't even want to grow the beard, they just want to participate, they make a donation to their favorite charity, and we're going to post each of their charities on our Facebook page with a donate button. So if you want to help them match and make a better impact on the charity that they're looking at, for the next few days, keep an eye on our Facebook page. We'll be posting those charities up there, and hope you can help out along with us on those things.
Oh, so a little competition going on there in the Keego Harbor Police Department.
Friendly competition for a good cause. Every one of these is a good cause, and we hope that we can bring a little help, a little, for like I said, the different ones that each officer picked their own charity, because we all have our own interests. So instead of just telling everybody it's going to be one charity, we let them pick their own, and then you'll be able to see what they are on our Facebook page over the next few days. And if you want to donate along to help out, we'd appreciate it.
And you guys do have a good social media site there. I know you have a lot of followers in the city of Keego Harbor. I have a suggestion, though, to help increase those donations. Get with the significant other, like the wives, because I'm sure if you said, hey, could you donate to my cause to make him shave, then you could double your money. Because I will tell you, when my husband doesn't shave, it drives me crazy. And when he goes on vacation, he tries to do this little goatee thing. I'm like, no, that look does not work for you. Go shave. I would pay money for that. So just kind of a thought that you might want to think about.
That's a good suggestion. I know we do have a couple of wives that do like the beards, and we have a couple that say, can you please not do No Shave November? I don't want them looking that scruffy. But it's all for a good cause, and that's what we're trying to help with.
It is, but it's also a lot of pressure on the guys that can't grow a beard.
Well, that's why we tell them you don't have to try and grow one, especially if it's not going to come in very well. Some of these guys, I don't even like wearing a beard. So I said, well, it's not about wearing the beard then. It's about helping out your favorite charity.
Well, we wish you and your entire team good luck. And again, thank you to Officer Cote for his service as well as a member of our military. We want to say thank you to him, and we'll be looking to your Facebook page to try to help some of the officers and help support some of the nonprofits that they are raising money for.
Okay, it'll be a few days before those are popped on there, but they will be on there. And as the head representative of the Keego Harbor Police Department, I do want to thank all the veterans across this country, whether you volunteered, whether you were drafted, the fact that you went and served, you went where you were called to. My dad, all my uncles, they were all members of different branches of the service. Thank you to them personally, but thank you to all our veterans. You've gone over and above what any of us have done for the country, and thank you.
And I know they appreciate it today and every day.